Fairly recently, some huge news dropped from the official Tesla account regarding Hardware 3 owners. A Hardware 3 owner is an owner that purchased a Tesla between 2019 to about mid-2023. If you have an older hardware and you're using full self-driving, for example, you know that there are some limitations. Especially overseas outside of North America, many users are still waiting to be able to use the software that they paid for. Now, Tesla isn't at fault for most of this because regulators are denying access to these owners, and it's just not allowed on public roads over in Germany, for example, and other European countries. The Netherlands has embraced it and people are using it there, but the caveat is you have to have a Hardware 4 car. Same thing in Australia. So how do you get this latest version that you paid for without having to buy a new car? It seems a bit unfair, doesn't it? A lot of owners are very upset about this and they keep waiting to get what they paid for. A petition was started, and that may have something to do with the recent statement from the Tesla account. They tweeted, following future rollout of v14 Lite for Hardware 3 vehicles in the US, we plan on expanding v14 Lite to additional international markets. This update ensures that Hardware 3 vehicle owners will continue to benefit from ongoing software updates. What that has historically meant is that it will get better over time because the software improves. The tweet goes on to mention, since international rollout is subject to several factors, completion of technical verification, regional adaptation, and relevant regulatory approval, we can't provide definitive dates at the moment, but will provide updates on a rolling basis. Now, I think it's great that Tesla is communicating a little bit more closely with these owners. However, I really wonder what the rolling basis means to Tesla. Is that every 1 month? Is that every 3 months? Is that every 6 months? What is this rolling window? However, we can be very excited and thankful for all the news that's to come. For example, we know from Hansshow in the earnings call that v14 Lite will allow Hardware 3 owners to unpark their cars from parking spaces and also park better in driveways.
For what it's worth, in the meantime, we are going to also release a v14 version for Hardware 3. This will be a distilled version of the same v14 software that we released for Hardware 4. And people should be able to start the drives from park state, and basically have all the features that v14 for Hardware 4 has. And that's expected to come end of June.
Another huge piece of information dropped very recently. Sawyer Merritt posted that Tesla is ending one-time FSD purchases across Europe on May 21st. This includes the UK, Germany, France, Italy, Belgium, Switzerland, Denmark, and others. Basically what this means is that you have 2 weeks or now 1 week to buy FSD outright before it switches then to a subscription model. One-time FSD purchases end in the Netherlands on May 15th, 2026. So if you're watching this video and you didn't know about that, I'm sorry I didn't notify you earlier. And for all of you that are on the fence and wondering whether you should buy it before May 21st, I can say that the daily experience using full self-driving is wonderful. It really takes a lot of load off of your shoulders as the safety driver, and it makes you overall just a better driver. It's nice to have another set of eyes on the road and to be able to use it when you're just really not in the mood to drive. It really is miraculous how it has a brain of its own. And like I said, it keeps you extremely safe. The third thing I'd like to talk about very briefly is Tesla's Robotaxi. How does it compare to other autonomous vehicles? We have Amazon's Zoox running around in certain cities. Obviously, we have Waymo here and now the Tesla Robotaxi. There was a very interesting tweet from Ming saying that this is very good news that Ying Kui, a very prominent figure in the global AI community, recently took a definitive stand. He said that the Tesla route is the only viable path for level 4. And for those of you who don't know, level 4 is one away from being fully autonomous and the safest it could possibly be, 100% perfect. Why? Because the Waymo approach faces two insurmountable walls. Number one, the cost of expansion. Mapping every inch of a city in HD is an artisanal process. It doesn't scale. To reach global level 4, we don't need digital maps. We need AI that can see and reason like a human in unfamiliar territory. Number two, the infinite long tail. Traditional level 4 relies on rules, but reality is messy. Yin Kui argues that only a world model, self-supervised learning, can solve the millions of rare edge cases that occur on the road. You can't program safety. You have to train it. Now, just to be clear, Waymo is also leveraging AI. Just want to put that out there. But Ming goes on to say that the bottom line is, in the AI era, generalization is greater than precision. While Waymo is currently the gold standard for safety in specific neighborhoods, Key believes they are winning the battle but losing the war. There were a couple interesting comments on one of my previous videos. One person said, "It's so ridiculous to say that robotaxis eliminate car ownership. Who cares if it's cheaper? People still want their own car to go where they want, when they want." And then another person commented, and this one cracks me up, but I agree with this in a lot of ways. He says, Elon is trying to wait out the lifespan of Hardware 3 cars. And you can see that had 103 likes at the time. It has the most likes on the entire video for a comment, especially for those overseas who have bought this, for example, in Australia, in the Netherlands, on a Hardware 3 vehicle and paid a lot more money than some of these AI4 owners who are now using it and happy-go-lucky driving around. A friend of mine recently reached out asking if now would be a good time to buy a Tesla. He's looking to upgrade his car and he can't wait to have the EV experience. I told him first and foremost, you can't go wrong getting a 2026 Model Y. It's one of the best and safest cars on the planet. It also comes with AI4, it comes with full self-driving. For 3 months for free. Make sure you use someone's referral code if you do go ahead and order a new Tesla. And then my very next question was, when do you need to buy it? And he said, oh, I'm not in a rush. I don't need to replace a car. Nothing is broken down. It's just something I've been thinking about buying. And he was just looking for some tips, maybe some advice, some extra information. Of course, like I said, I talked to him about the Model Y. I think that's the most economical, family-friendly vehicle, and you get the best value for your money. But since my friend has some time, I had to tell him about the hardware cycle for Tesla. So Tesla produced hardware 1 from 2014 to 2016. That's about 2-year span. And then hardware 2 was 2016 to 2017. I'm just rounding about a year there. And then we had hardware 2.5, which was 2017 to 2019, 2 years there. And then hardware 3, that one, when it came out in 2019, it lasted a long time, 4 years, all the way up until mid-2023. It took about a year before hardware 3 started getting left behind, however, because Tesla was running full self-driving in emulation mode on hardware 4 at the time. So AI4 came out in mid-2023. And considering the history and assuming a 4-year average life cycle for the hardware inside of people's car, which is basically what a lot of people are buying the car for, is the brain, it makes sense, in my opinion, to wait since we are at the end of that life cycle for hardware 4.
But at some point, the AI4 hardware is going to get like so old that it's like, okay, the only reason they're keeping the factory open is for AI4.
It makes sense in my mind to wait.
At some point, I think it will make sense for us to switch to AI5 in the car.
Now, people are going to argue and say, well, AI4 Plus was mentioned in the earnings call, and that is absolutely correct.
We are planning an AI4 upgrade to use a newer generation RAM. So it'll go from 16 gigabytes to, I think, 32 gigabytes per SoC. So a total of 64 gigabytes, and probably a 10% increase in compute in sort of into trillions of operations per second and in memory bandwidth.
AI5 was originally promised in mid-2027, but now in the earnings call, Elon mentioned that in mid-2027, they'll release extra RAM and extra capability for all hardware 4 owners, boosting its capability and being referenced as AI4 Plus.
So that's AI4.1 or AI4 Plus probably goes into production middle of next year, I think. Depends on Samsung's doing the modifications for us, so it sort of depends on when they're able to finish those modifications and bring it to production.
So with that new shift, I'm now predicting that hardware 5 or AI5 will come out in mid-2028. I have to reiterate, though, that buying a new AI4 car today is not a mistake, because 14.3.2, even before v14 comes out, which has been promised to all AI4 owners, this latest version is operating according to Whole Mars blog so good. Now, I laugh or cringe whenever I see a lot of these posts because everybody has a different opinion. The skepticism, however, these days is running way low compared to the early days. And I'm talking about 2021 when I first started using self-driving in my 2019 Model 3. And then, as was mentioned before, whether this comes true or not, we really have yet to see. Elon mentioned that they will be taking care of Hardware 3 owners. And in order to achieve unsupervised, if it's necessary, they will do a hardware swap, completely replacing the computer. It's possible Tesla will initiate a hardware swap procedure prior to mid-2028, but I'm skeptical of that. Around then, they'll probably be on FSD version 16, maybe still on version 15. We will see. And lastly, I created a video recently where I was test driving a Model S Plaid. Now, this is a vehicle that popped up on FSD Hunter. FSD Hunter is an app where you can go and find used Teslas that have full self-driving fully paid for. A lot of times the third-party car dealers, they have no idea that FSD is even on the vehicle, and oftentimes it's not accounted for in the price of the used vehicle. Well, I found on there a Model S Plaid selling for $59,000. And it really got me excited because it has full self-driving. This car has under 40,000 miles. The only disadvantage really is that it is a Hardware 3 vehicle. Now, at least it has an AMD infotainment system, and it's actually very, very fast. It's one of the original ones that had the Steam capability. So this is a really nice graphics processing unit inside of the car. Some major points came up in the comments of that video, people saying that you're only going to be using the launch mode or the drag strip mode on a very irregular basis, whereas you're going to be using the full self-driving every single day. So ditch the Hardware 3 and go with a AI4 car. The only challenge with that is the next cheapest Tesla that's used that has Hardware 4, that's also a Model S Plaid that goes 0 to 60 in 1.98 seconds, is that it's $12,000 higher in price, selling for $71,340. Since it's also in Greensboro, North Carolina, it would take quite a bit of money to ship it all the way to Chicago. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence. Even though the Model S Plaid was my dream car, I'm happy to change my dream car to the Roadster, but that just feels so out of reach. I should really spoil myself and just aim for the stars. But that's extremely expensive, which is why I haven't even thought about it. As a dream car, you kind of want to achieve your dream, so you don't want to set the bar too high. At least for me, a single family income, family of 5, I need to be very careful. Regarding the Model S Plaid, it still has my name on it. The dealer had to transfer the title since it came in from out of state. And I'm still considering, just so everybody is aware, there are 3 things that I'm looking at right now. Insurance, how much would that cost? Number 2, would it fit in my garage? I forgot to test that part, very important. And then the third one is checking the error logs to make sure there were no battery management system or BMS error codes. And if you want to throw a 4th one in, it's making sure I have enough money to be able to afford it. I get it that you only live once, but I also have to look at my wallet and ask myself, can I afford 2 Teslas in the next 3 years, or should I just go for that new one when AI5 comes out? I don't know if I'm going to get it, but I'm obviously leaning toward not getting it. And I think it would probably be better to not have it because yeah, I'm definitely going to consider it. All right, we will close it out here. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. And until the next one, have a great day.